The rain-slicked alley in Brooklyn reeked of garbage and regret. But it was the cop's sneer that twisted my gut like a knife. "Fucking fairy." He spat, his boots slamming into my ribs as I curled on the wet pavement, tasting blood and the bitter tang of humiliation. I was Ryder Hayes, 28 years old. And in that moment, I wasn't the detective who'd cracked cases that made headlines. I was just another queer kid getting his ass kicked for daring to hold hands with a guy in the wrong neighborhood. I'd come to New York 5 years ago, chasing dreams bigger than the dusty Texas town that had choked the life out of my teenage years. Back home, coming out had been like lighting a match in a powder-keg-me old man. A ranch hand with fists like hams had beaten the sin out of me until I learned to hide. But the city promised reinvention, a place where rainbows weren't just flags, but lifelines. I clawed my way into the NYPD Academy, top of my class, because if the world wanted to break me, I'd learn how to break it back. Undercover work suited me blending in, reading the shadows, turning vulnerability into a weapon. That's how I met Alex, the barista with the crooked smile and eyes like summer storms, who saw through my guarded heart faster than anyone. We'd been together 6 months, stealing moments in coffee shops and quiet parks, building something real amid the chaos. That night, we'd wandered into Bed-Stuy after a show in Manhattan, hands brushing, laughing about nothing. Then the patrol car slowed, and Officer Derek Harlan, badge number 4782, as I'd later memorize, stepped out like he owned the shadows. He was mid-30s, built like a linebacker gone to seed, with a buzz cut and eyes that burned with the kind of hate that simmers for years. "Hands where I can see 'em, boys," he'd growled. But it was the way he lingered on us, the disgust curling his lip, that set my teeth on edge. I tried to play it cool, flashing my wallet with nothing but ID, keeping my jacket zipped over the badge that marked me as a senior detective in Vice. Alex squeezed my hand, whispering, "Let's just go." But Harlan wasn't having it. He shoved Alex against the wall first, patting him down with hands that lingered too long, too rough. "You recruiting tonight, sweetheart?" The words hit like slaps, and I stepped forward, voice steady. "Officer, we're just walking. No trouble here." His laugh was a bark, echoing off the bricks. "Walking? Looks like parading to me." He turned on me then, grabbing my collar, slamming me into the dumpster. The pain exploded in my side, but it was the fear in Alex's eyes wide, helpless, that gutted me. "You think you're tough? Queer? This city's got no room for your kind patrolling my streets." He didn't know. How could he? My jacket hung loose, the gold shield inside a secret I'd earned through nights of stakeouts and betrayals, outranking his street cop stripes by a mile. By the time backup arrived, real backup, not his buddies covering for the brutality, I was spitting gravel, Alex shaking beside me. Harlan cuffed us loosely, more for show, muttering about public indecency as he shoved us into the cruiser. The precinct was a fluorescent hell, buzzing with indifferent clerks and the stink of stale coffee. They processed us like cattle, fingerprints smudging the forms, Alex's hand trembling in mine under the table. "I love you," he whispered, and it was the only anchor in the storm. But as they led us to holding, something shifted. A sergeant glanced at my intake sheet, eyes narrowing. "Hayes." As in Detective Hayes. The room stilled. Harlan, leaning against the desk with a smirk, froze. I met his gaze, unzipping my jacket slow, deliberate. The badge gleamed under the harsh lights. Detective, first grade. Internal Affairs Division. The kind that investigates cops like him. His face drained of color, the sneer twisting into something uglier, panic. You're one of us. He stammered, but I was already standing taller, the hook of authority pulling me upright. Worse than that. Harlan, I'm the one who cleans up trash like you. The sergeant uncuffed us, apologies tumbling out like loose change. Alex's shock melted into pride, his fingers lacing with mine as we walked out into the dawn. But this wasn't the end, it was the spark. Harlan's bullying wasn't random. Whispers in the department said he had a history, a trail of complaints buried under blue loyalty. And me, I was done hiding. The weeks blurred into a frenzy of paperwork and shadowed meetings. IA launched a quiet probe, but I couldn't let it go cold. Alex saw the fire in me, the way sleep evaded me as I pored over Harlan's file late at night. Ryder, you're going to burn out, he'd say, curling against me in our tiny Queens apartment, his breath warm on my neck. Our love was the soft counterpoint to the Ragia stolen weekend in the Catskills. Hiking trails where no badges mattered. Just us, bare under the stars, whispering futures we dared to dream. But Harlan didn't slink away. He cornered me in the locker room one shift, voice low and venomous. Think you're hot shit now. Hayes. That badge don't make you straight. His fist connected with my jaw before I could dodge, the crack echoing like a gunshot. I tasted copper, vision blurring, but I swung back clean. Precise. Years of training uncoiling. We grappled, grunts and curses filling the steam, until colleagues pulled us apart. Bruises bloomed on my ribs, a mirror to that alley night. But this time, witnesses flooded the chief's office. The investigation cracked open like a fault line. Testimonies poured in, queer kids roughed up in cuffs too tight, trans folks profiled on bogus stops, a ledger of hate scripted in blue ink. Harlan's partner flipped first, spilling details of cover-ups over beers at a dive bar. I led the raid on his off-books evidence locker, heart pounding as we breached the door. Files tumbled out, photos, notes, a shrine to his bigotry. One image stopped me cold, a snapshot of a young man, early 20s, bruised and broken, the same eyes as Harlan's. His brother. The pieces clicked, loss twisted into loathing, grief weaponized against us. Confronting him in interrogation was poetry in pain. Harlan sat shackled, defiance cracking under the fluorescent glare. You don't get it, he snarled, but his voice broke. He was like Yumi kid brother. OD'd after those freaks at the club. After they made him feel like nothing. The room spun. Empathy warred with fury. I saw the boy in him, warped by a world that taught hate as survival. That's the tragedy. Derek, I said, voice steady despite the ache. You became the monster you blame us for creating. But we don't have to. Let it end here. He crumbled then, confessions spilling like rain assaults. Threats. The alley on me, just another notch. The department stripped his badge, Charges piling like storm clouds, hate crimes, abuse of power. As they led him away, his eyes met mine not with hate, but hollow defeat. Alex waited outside, pulling me into a hug that smelled of home. You did it. You turned poison into justice. But victory tasted bittersweet. The media storm hit headlines screaming, "Cops comeuppance. Gay detective exposes badge of bigotry." Protests bloomed in the streets. Rainbows clashing with blue lines. Voices demanding reform. I testified before the council. Words raw, badges aren't shields for hate. They're oaths to protect everyone, shadows included. Alex stood beside me, hand in mine. Our love a quiet rebellion. Yet scars lingered. Nights when doubt crept in, whispering I was too broken for this fight. Alex chased it away with laughter, with touches that mapped my body like sacred ground. We planned a life beyond the badge, maybe a cabin upstate. Adoptions dreamed in whispers. Romance wove through the wreckage. Tender and fierce, anniversaries marked with rooftop picnics. His sketches of us framed on walls that once echoed isolation. One crisp fall evening, as leaves burned gold in Central Park, I proposed under the same oak where we'd first kissed. Kneeling, ring glinting, I poured out my soul. Alex, you saw me when I was invisible. Mary meant it despite the fights, but because we win them together. Tears streaked his face, yes, tumbling out like sunlight. The city hummed approval, a symphony of possibility. Harlan's trial came swift. Justice a hammer blow. Sentenced to 10 years. He wrote me from prison halting words of regret. A plea for understanding. I burned the letter. But not the lesson. Hate isn't born. It's fed. And love starves it out. Ryder Hayes. Once a bullied boy. Now a captain in reform. Walked taller. The badge on my jacket. It outranked them all, not in gold, but in the heart it guarded. In the end, it wasn't about the win. It was the boy in the alley who rose. The lover who stayed. The world that bent just a little toward light. And in Alex's arms, under endless New York skies, I knew we were unbreakable. The precinct bullpen thrummed with the low hum of fluorescent lights and murmured frustrations. But for me, it was just another cage with better coffee. After Harlan's takedown, promotions came like consolation prizes. Captain Hayes now, heading a task force on bias crimes. My office a glass-walled perch overlooking the chaos I once navigated undercover. Alex and I had moved to a brownstone in Harlem. Walls alive with his art, vibrant murals of queer icons. Strokes of color defying the gray. Mornings started with his lips on my shoulder. Coffee brewing as sunlight slanted through blinds. Captain Sexy reporting for duty. He'd tease. And I'd laugh, pulling him back to bed. Because some battles were won in sheets, not streets. But the ghosts lingered. A call came mid-shift, another beating in the village. A trans teen left bleeding behind a club. I drove through traffic like a demon. Sirens wailing my impatience. The kid Jaden, 17. They slashed them huddled on the curb. Paramedics swarming. It was the cops. They whispered. Voice cracking. Said I looked suspicious. My blood iced. Harlan was locked up, but his poison seeped. I knelt. Jacket unzipped, just enough for the badge to flash reassurance. I'm Ryder. You're safe now. Tell me everything. Jaden's story unraveled like a frayed rope, profiled for their skirt and heels. Shoved into an alley. Fists raining down with slurs. The perps. 2 uniforms from the 6th. Harlan's old drinking buddies. Rage boiled. But I channeled its statements taken. Cams reviewed. A web of complicity spinning wider. Back at the station, I slammed files on my desk, barking orders to my team, Elena, the sharp Latina sergeant with a nose for lies, Marcus, the vet who understood quiet traumas. We end this tonight, I said, voice steel. They nodded. Loyalty forged in fire. Alex met me at home with takeout and worry lines etching his brow. You can't save everyone. We ate on the fire escape. City lights twinkling like distant hopes. His hand traced my knuckles, scarred from too many fights. But damn if you don't try. That night, love was our rebellion's low. Deliberate. Bodies entwined as if mapping escape routes from the world's cruelty. He arched under me, gasps painting the dark. And in his release, I found absolution. The sting operation launched at dawn. A honey trap in the club's back lot. I played bait, leaning against a wall in low light. Heart hammering. Elena's voice crackled in my earpiece. Targets inbound. The 2 cops sauntered up, badges glinting like false halos. Evening. Sunshine. One leered, mistaking me for easy prey. I let them close. Venom dripping from their words, tranny trash like you belongs in the gutter. Then the trap snapped, lights flooded. Cuffs clicked. My team swarming like justice's tide. Interrogation was symphony and slaughter. The first cracked fast, tears mixing with sweat. Harlan said it was protocol keep the streets clean. The second held longer, spitting defiance until I leaned in. Voice low. Clean. You mean whitewashed. But stains like you. They show. His confession sealed the case. A domino toppling toward systemic rot. Media frenzy reignited. But this time, I own the narrative. A press conference in the rain-swept plaza. Alex's hand hidden in my pocket for strength. The badge is a promise. I declared, rain streaking my face like tears. Break it, and it breaks you. Applause thundered. But the real win was Jaden's text later. Thanks, Captain. I feel seen. Yet doubt gnawed. Late nights. I'd stare at the ceiling. Alex asleep beside me, wondering if I was hero or hypocrite hiding my queerness on the job until crises forced it out. One evening, after a grueling shift chasing leads on a hate ring, I came home to find him packing sketches. Trip? I asked, pulse spiking. He turned, eyes soft. Not running. Running toward. Wedding in the Berkshireshire folks. Mine. The whole damn rainbow. My Texas family. The old man had disowned me years ago. But a letter arrived weeks prior, shaky script apologizing. Proud of the man you became. Wish I'd been better. Redemption's fragile thread. The wedding planning became our lifeline. Tux fittings with Elena cracking jokes. Cake tastings where Marcus devoured samples like intel. Alex's vows. Written in his looping hand. Promised, in shadows or spotlight. I'm your constant. Mine, You pulled me from the alley. Heart first. The ceremony under autumn oaks was magic. Vows exchanged as leaves confettied down. Guests a tapestry of survivors, Jaden beaming in the front row. Harlan's letter tucked in my pocket like a talisman. Honeymoon in Provincetown. Salt air kissing our skin. We danced on beaches where waves erased footprints. Love deep in there. Raw and unhurried sunsets bleeding into nights of exploration. His body a landscape I memorized anew. Forever. We whispered. Rings catching starlight. Back in the city. The task force bloomed. We trained recruits on bias. Simulations where slurs met shutdowns. One class. A young cop fresh-faced. 22. Eyes wide approached after. Sir. I'm. Like you. Scared to say it. I clasped his shoulder. Say it loud. The badge protects us, all or none. Harlan's appeal failed. His cell a mirror to choices. A final letter came. You saved me from myself. Thank you. I framed it beside our wedding photo. A reminder, even monsters mend. Life wove forward adoption papers for a foster kid named Theo. 10 and fierce. With eyes like Alex's. Fatherhood cracked me open. Teaching tenderness amid the grit. One night, Theo asked, Dad, why do bad guys hate us? I pulled him close. Alex flanking. They fear what they don't know. But we love loud, that's our power. Years blurred. But the alley's echo faded. Ryder Hayes. Once broken. Now whole. Captain. Husband. Dad. The badge on my jacket. It outranked hate every time. Theo's laughter echoed through the brownstone like sunlight piercing storm clouds. A sound that still caught me off guard after 3 years of fatherhood. He was 8 now. All gangly limbs and questions that pierced deeper than any suspect's glare. Papa-ree, why's your badge shiny? He'd ask, fingering the gold on my jacket as I shrugged it off after shifts. Alex would chuckle from the kitchen, stirring pasta sauce. Because it chases dragons. Kiddo. And in our home, dragons were just stories hate, crimes handled by day. Bedtime tales by night. But the city never slept. And neither did its shadows. A string of arsons hit queer nightlife spots, clubs torched in the dead of night. Graffiti snarling, burn the deviants. The first call yanked me from bed at 2 a.m. Alex is groggy, be safe, trailing me out the door. Flames licked the sky over a Hell's Kitchen bar. Sirens wailing as firefighters battled infernos. I pushed through the chaos. Badge flashing. Elena at my side. Arson. Definite. She said. Coughing ash. And this. She pointed to the wall, a scorched rainbow flag. Twisted into a noose. The pattern emerged fast, 5 hits in a month. All tied to a fringe group calling themselves Purity Patrol. Harlan's old online echo chamber. My gut twisted. His trial had scattered them like roaches. But resentment festered. I dove in. Undercover as a disgruntled ex-cop at their seedy meetups in Jersey warehouses. The air stank of sweat and paranoia. Leader a wiry ex-military type named Vance. Eyes fanatic. The blues failed us. He ranted. Passing manifestos. Time to purge the filth ourselves. I nodded. While rising. Slipping intel to the team via burner phone. Alex sensed the strain. Our night's fracturing. You're vanishing again. We'd argue in hushed tones after Theo slept me defensive. Him wounded. This isn't just a job. It's war. His touch would soften it. Hands roaming until anger melted into need. Bodies colliding in the dim hall. But cracks widened. A missed anniversary dinner. Theo's school play where I arrived late. Ty asked you. We need you here, Alex said one night. Tears glinting. Not chasing ghosts. The bust came bloody. We raided their compound at midnight. Flashbangs popping like fireworks gone wrong. Vance bolted. Firing wild bullet grazing my arm. Fire blooming hot. Marcus tackled him. Elena cuffing as I slumped against a crate. Blood soaking my sleeve. Got him. Cap. She radioed. Voice tight. In the aftermath. Evidence piled, accelerants. Hit lists with my name circled. Purity patrol crumbled. Vance spilling under lights. Harlan inspired us said one man could spark a revolution. Hospital stitched me up. Alex storming in pale and furious. Idiot. He breathed. Kissing my knuckles. Theo barreled after. Climbing onto the bed with drawings of superheroes. You okay? Papa. His hug mended more than sutures. That night. Discharged early. We drove home silent. Then talked till dawn, vows renewed. Boundaries redrawn. Delegate more. Alex urged. Let the team carry weight. I nodded. Humbled. Reform accelerated. I pushed legislation through Albany mandatory bias training. Body cams unblinking. Whistleblower shields. Testifying. Theo's drawing pinned to my briefcase, a cape-clad rider saving rainbows. For my son. I told lawmakers. Voice cracking. And every kid like him. Bills passed. Ripples spreading nationwide. Romance reignited in embers. Date nights at hidden jazz clubs. Alex's head on my shoulder as saxophones wept. We adopted a sister for Theolila. 5. With curls like spring and a laugh that healed. Family dinners became rituals, stories swapped. Hands linked under the table. To us. Alex toasts. Eyes locking mine. One crisp winter. Harlan died in custody heart attack. They said. No fanfare. Just a notice. I visited his grave unannounced. Snow blanketing the stones. Rest easy. I murmured. Maybe now. Peace. Forgiveness wasn't absolution. It was release. Theo's first pride. We marched his small hand in mine. Lila on Alex's shoulders. Banners waved. Drums thrummed. A sea of color drowning old alleys. Look. Papa. We're dragons too. Theo yelled. And I laughed. Free. The badge gleamed. Outranking scars. In love's quiet forge. We thrived. Spring bloomed vicious in New York. Cherry blossoms mocking the frost in my veins as the scandal broke. A leaked memo from the commissioner's office redacted names. But the intent screamed, prioritized traditional recruitment to maintain morale. Translation, weed out the queers. My phone exploded. Elena's text first, your move. Boss. I paced the bullpen. Team clustered like shields. We fight smart. I said. Gather proof. This ends now. Alex fielded calls at home. Theo and Lila oblivious in their playroom fort. The world's watching. Don't let it devour you. His worry was a mirror to my own nights where sleep fled, replaced by visions of academies echoing with slurs. We made love fierce that evening, reclaiming ground, his nails raking my back, my lips mapping apologies on his skin. We're unbreakable, I gasped, and he believed me, even as doubt whispered. The probe uncovered Rod, emails chaining up the ladder. Quotas unspoken but ironclad. I went public. Op-ed in the Times, badges for all or none. Backlash roared blue, rallies chanting loyalty. But queer voices amplified. Protests swelling Times Square. One night, counter-protesters clashed. Bottles flew. I waded in. Badge out. De-escalating with words sharper than batons. This ain't the enemy. I yelled to a kid my son's age, eyes wild with inherited hate. He paused, fist unclenching. Seeds planted. Commissioner called me in. Office reeking of cigars and cornered power. Hayes, you're stirring shit. Gray hair slicked. Eyes evasive. I laid files down. Methodical. Or cleaning it. Sir. Your call. He folded. Resignation drafted by Dawn. Interim chief. Me. By vote of the brass first out captain to helm the whole damn ship. The weight crushed. Then steadied. Alex threw a backyard bash. String lights twinkling as Elena grilled steaks. Marcus spun tails. Theo crowned me with a paper badge, super chief. Laughter healed. But duty called relentless. A serial harasser in Queens badging his way into homes. Targeting immigrants. We nabbed him mid-act. My team a well-oiled machine. Victims thanks, you get it. Seemed too much. Summer sizzled. Family trip to Fire Island beaches where Speedos weren't scandals. Waves crashing as Theo built sandcastles. Lila chased gulls. Alex and I stole sunsets. Hands intertwined. Remember our first beach? He murmured. Sand gritty between toes. I did the rawness. The promise. We renewed under stars. Salt-kissed and eternal. Fall brought trials, the memo's architects indicted. Plea deals crumbling under scrutiny. I mentored rookies. Stories of alleys turned to anthems. 1. A burly kid named Finn. Confided post-drill, Captain. I'm by. Freaking out. I shared my scars. Jacket unzipped. Own it. Or it owns you. He straightened. Ally forged. Thanksgiving gathered Uzmi, old man flying in. Frail but eyes soft. He hugged Theo tight, whispering regrets to me over pie. You righted my wrongs. Son. Tears mixed with gravy. Forgiveness. Late but luminous. Winter's chill heralded change. National conference in D.C. Me keynoting. Podium lights hot. I spoke truth. Hate hides in hierarchies. We dismantle. Brick by badge. Applause thundered. Handshakes from feds. Alex beamed from the crowd. Pride my anchor. Home. Lila's nightmare woke Ushadows of foster homes past. We rocked her. Songs soft. Theo joining with stuffed dragons. Family's fragile armor. But ours held. The year closed with a bang. Purity Remnant's leader paroled early. Threat letters arriving. I upped security. But Alex drew battle lines. No more ghosts. We faced it together stakeout on our block. Arrest at dawn. His glare as cuffs clicked. Defeat. New Year's. Fireworks burst over the bridge. To tomorrow's. Alex toasted. Kids asleep inside. I pulled him close. Ring cool against skin. The badge. A servant now. To love's command. Dawn cracked over the Hudson like a promise half-kept. My cruiser slicing through fog as radio chatter spiked. Officer down in the Bronx. Heart slamming. I floored at visions of ambushes. Blood on concrete. Arrived to chaos, tape fluttering. Medics loading a stretcher. The Vic. Finn. My mentee. Got shot during a traffic stop gone sour. Suspect fled. Elena briefed. Face grim. Witness says he mouthed off called Finn a slur. My fists clenched. The city's underbelly stirred again. Hospital vigil stretched endless. Alex bringing coffee and quiet strength. He'll pull through, he said, thumb stroking my palm. Finn did. Barely scarred inside and out. But fire undimmed. Bedside. He gripped my hand. Captain. Was profiling me. Knew I was. I nodded. Rage coiling. We got him. Rest now. The shooter. A gangbanger with a grudge against Papa Fags. Per the street whisper. But deeper digs revealed ties to old purity sells vengeance uncoiling. The hunt consumed me. Shifts bleeding into sleepless nights. Alex staged intervention over breakfast. Theo and Lila at school. Ryder Hayes. You're not invincible. His eyes. Storm gray. Held mine. We stripped bare then. Not just clothes, but defenses love a bomb. Urgent and unyielding. Fight with us. He urged. Breath hitching. I promised. Recommitting. Bust went textbook, decoy op in the projects. Me in plain clothes. Suspect swaggered up. Piece drawn. Heard you like boys. Pig. I disarmed him clean. Knee to gut. Cuffs singing. Interrogation cracked him wide. Orders from up high cleanse the ranks. Up high. A dirty sergeant. Harlan's ghost in pinstripes. We rolled him up too. Corruption's thread unraveling. Finn recovered. Back on light duty. His thanks a quiet beer at our spot. You saved me twice. Cap. I shrugged. Team effort. But inside, the alley echoed bullying cycle. Broken one badge at a time. Spring thawed grudges. City Council honored me with a plaque. But I donated it to the academy. Tools. Not trophies. I told reporters. Alex rolled eyes. But beamed at the Gallame in tux. Him devastating in velvet. Dance floor spun us close. Whispers amid swells. My hero. Heat built. Hotel room a whirlwind sheets tangled. Cries muffled in pillows. Theo's birthday bash. Piñata bursting candy rain. Lila's shrieking delight. My old man grilled burgers. Stories flowing freer. Missed this, he admitted, clapping my back. Healing slow river. Summer storm hit literal, hurricane warnings. Precinct to bunker. We evacuated family to Jersey. Alex kissing me fierce at the door. Come home whole. Winds howled. Floods rose. I coordinated rescues. Boat to rooftop for stranded elders. One call, a queer couple trapped in their walk-up. Dog yapping panic. We hauled them out. Rain lashing. Thank you. The husband sobbed. Wife clinging. In that deluge, humanity shone. Post-storm. Rebuilds birthed community block parties, forging bonds. Rainbows painted on fresh walls. I led workshops. Kids like Theo drawing badges of their own. Fall foliage framed a crisis. National election fever spiking hate crimes. Rainbow flags torched in suburbs. Task force stretched thin. Me testifying in D.C. Again. Federal aid. Now. I demanded. Voice thunder. Bills budged. Funds flowed. Thanksgiving. We hosted Strays Finn and his partner. Jaden now in college. Laughter drowned old pains. Pie shared with toasts to survival. Winter's gift. Lila's first word to me dada. Melting me puddle soft. Alex captured it on video. Replaying till we wept laughing. New Year dawned with reform law signed LGBTQ liaisons in every precinct. My signature. On the dotted line of history. Yet shadows nipped, anonymous thread online. Pay for Harlan. I traced it to a troll farm. Shut down swift. Alex, enough. We vacationed in Key West. Conch shells and sunsets. Love renewed. Waves witness. Back. The badge called. But now, it served joy. The Academy auditorium buzzed with fresh recruits. Eyes wide as I paced the stage. Jacket slung over shoulder. Day one. The badge isn't power, it's responsibility. Slides flicked. Alley photos blurred for decency. Harlan's mugshot a caution. Gasps rippled. I pressed. Hate's the real criminal. Root it out in yourselves first. Q&A ignited questions tentative. Then bold. A woman. Early 20s. Raised hand, sir. If you're out. How'd you climb? I smiled. Unzipped fully. By being me. Try it. Alex picked me up. Theo waving from back seat. Nailed it. Cap. Dinner chatter flowed Lila's preschool drama. Theo's soccer dreams. Bedtime stories wove justice tales. Dragons slain by rainbow nights. Case dropped unbidden. Missing person. A drag queen named Ruby. Last seen club hopping. Dive into underworld tips from informants. Cams combing glitter-strewn streets. Elena and I canvassed. Heels clicking pavement. She crossed the wrong sugar daddy. A bartender hissed. Trail led to a warehouse. Locks picked quiet. Inside, Ruby bound. Bruises blooming. Help. She croaked. We freed her. Ambulance wailing. Perp. A jealous promoter. Badge bought for muscle. His confession, she shamed me public. I leaned in. Shame's yours. Own it. Charges stuck. Kidnapping. Assault. Ruby's thanks. Front row at her comeback show. Sequin sparkling. Alex and I danced. Kids babysat. Night electric, his body pressed close. Rhythm syncing heartbeats. Hotel after. Passion unchecked. Mirrors fogging with fervor. Summer camp for Theo. Archery and tails, round fires. I dropped him. Throat tight first overnight. Alex squeezed my hand. He's ready. Like his dad's. We reclaimed the day museum strolls. Lila's tiny fingers in ours. Fall conference in L. A. Panels on queer policing. Me moderating. Heated debates. Fists unclenched by dawn. One activist cornered me. Your token. I fired back. Change agent. Watch. Handshakes sealed respect. Home. Harvest fest. Pumpkin carving. Hayrides. My old man visited. Teaching Theo knots. Strong hands. Like yours. He said. Bridges mended. Sturdy. Winter gripped. Flu season straining yars. Precinct aiding. I volunteered. Masks and swabs. Holding hands through fevers. One patient, elderly gay man. Partner gone. Fought for this. He wheezed. I nodded. Won it. New Year's resolution. Family sabbatical. We road tripped Southwest Grand Canyon echoes. Navajo stories. Theo marveled at stars. Infinite. Papa. Alex's gaze said the same. Spring scandal. Leaked body cam of brutality, trans arrest gone violent. Riot sparked. I quelled with megaphone. We hear you. Justice now. Perps fired. Charged. Trust rebuilt. Brick by voice. Theo's school play. He is knight. Saving Princess, Lila. Curtain call. Tears proud. After party. Cake smears. Hugs endless. Summer wedding for Finn. Best man duty. Toasts slurred sentimental. Love outrankes all. I quipped. Alex winked. Damn right. Fall elections. I ran for council. Platform reform. Campaign trail grueling debates. Door knocks. Alex strategized signs. Kids wave posters. Victory night. Cheers. Confetti. His kiss ceiling. Winter install. Oath on badge. Family beaming. For them. I vowed. Shadows. A final purity holdout. Bomb threat at Pride. Defused in seconds. Arrest clean. Over. Elena said. It was. Love's legacy, unbreakable. Council chambers hummed with agendas. My seat at the dais of vantage on the fray. First motion, expand hate crime units citywide. Opposition barked budgets. But I countered data stats I'd crunched sleepless. Lives over line items. I shot. Vote passed. Ink drying on progress. Alex texted mid-session, slaying dragons. Dinner's waiting. Home to roast chicken. Lila's drawings taped to fridge. Case lingered from days past. Cold file on a 90s unsolved. Queer bashing tied to rogue cops. I cracked it pro bono DNA matches. Witnesses thawed by time. Closure for families. Memorials lit with candles. Tears cathartic. Theo's tween angst hit. First crush. Boy at school. What if he laughs? Heartache echoed mine. Alex and I coached gentle. Truth's your armor. School dance. You went handheld. Beaming return. Summer heat wave. Block parties cooled with hydrants. Me grilling with neighbors. Lila's lemonade stand funded her unicorn fund. Laughter bridged divide since hostile faces now friends. Fall foliage tour. Drive upstate. Leaves aflame. Alex pulled over at Overlooks. Kisses stolen amid crunch. Still my adventure. He murmured. Hotel nights, slow burns. Exploring anew. Council clash, anti-LGBTQ bill proposed. Shadows of old memos. I filibustered dawn. Voice hoarse. Allies rallying. Killed in committee. Victory Pyrrhic but pure. Winter solstice, family ritual. Light strung. Story shared. My old man. Cancer's whisper. Joined via video frail smile. Proud. Son. We cried later. Alex holding. Spring bloom, Lila's ballet recital. Tutu twirls. Theo's science fair win, volcano erupting rainbows. Pride swelled paternal. Election rematch loomed. I geared campaigns. Door to door. Story swapped voters' pains mirroring mine. Alex, you're enough. Polls tight. Night's Tensilov's anchor. His body soothing. Victory narrower. But mine. Swearing in, badge to gavel. Seamless. Personal storm, Alex's gallery show. Nerves jangling. His pieces in oils. Raw emotions old swift. Toast to muses. After party, champagne buzz. Corner dark for heated glances. Theo's coming out formal, over ice cream. Steady gaze. I'm gay. Dad's. Hugs enveloped. We knew. Love you. Alex teared. Full circle. Summer Olympics viewing, family marathons. Cheers for out athletes. Inspired. Theo joined GSA. Fall harvest, farm visit. Pumpkins heavy. Carving contest Lila's won. Lopsided grin. Council coup, reform package passed. National model. Headlines hailed. I deflected to team. Winter wedding anniversary, vow renewal. Intimate beach at dusk. Waves vows. Rings exchanged anew. Passion ceiling. Shadows final, Harlan's old partner. Dying confession more buried sins. File closed. Peace granted. Legacy bloomed, family. City. Self outshining all.